Hello, everybody out there, internets. Welcome back. It has been a long time. Technically, it's been 2 weeks, but it feels like a long time. I missed y'all. Uh, if this is your first time, welcome. We are playing Scion, specifically Scion Demigod, and our two adventurers, nay, heroes turned demigods on their way to godhood to divinity were leading us through the story of self-realization, self-actualization as they figure out who they are within this grand scheme that is the world. Before we kind of like dive back into the story, we're going to once again let the people who are like leading this show introduce themselves because they are the true stars. So let us begin with Crow. If you would tell us who you are, who you're playing, and any pertinence you would like to share.
Hopefully, I'm loud enough. Hi, I'm Crow. I play Nolan, just Nolan now. The demigod of war, unless war. Oh, it's complicated. Um, if you're looking for me, I am also playing in the World Below games on every 2 weeks, every other week on Thursdays. Not this week, but hopefully. In the next few weeks, we should be back with the addition of season two. So hopefully you can watch us all for that. Um, seem like hearing something in the background. Anyways, um, yeah, that's all I got for right now.
Beautiful. Thank you much. And Zach, if you would tell us who you are, who you're playing, and any pertinence you would love to share.
Hello, I am Zachary Naldret, he, him. I am playing Bodhi Lee, she, her, born Scion of Tara and reincarnated Scion of Tara of the Payas. Um, I'm only here. This is it. If you want to see me, it's here, or you need to like find the next out of the half dozen tattoo parlors that I'm going to show up at and get work done on me. Um, because or eight, depending on how you count it, in the past week wasn't enough. Um, yeah. And ZachRules.com. It's a website. That's also my handle at the BS site. If you want to look for me somewhere else on the internet for social media, don't. I'm not there. I'm not going to interact with you. It's name only thing. Um, I forgot that I have Twitter. Like, the dead bird has been deleted from all mobile devices.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let's jump back into Atusa. Um, a city once known for its connection to Scion activity. Many young Scions hoping to become gods would kind of end up there as the city itself like really claimed Scions. Been a lot of spaces for Scions, a lot of like coffee shops for Scions, including and this like push was kind of like really championed by one former billionaire by the name of Doug, who unfortunately his love of science took him too close to some dangerous entities, and that resulted in his death. Um, However, since then, Atusa has kind of spiraled out of control with a lot of scions and a lot of gods, kind of like focusing on that city. A few things have started to happen. One, an entity that called herself Dracula took a liking, a shine to Atusa and has been making her presence kind of known uh, in the past year and a half to 2 years. Um, Two, the average temperature in Hattusa has dropped 40 degrees in the past 3 months. Um, and there is something going on with the land that was built to host Scion Towers. The business venture for Doug that was allow human beings to go into afterlives, overworlds, underworlds, and kind of, take pictures. It would make being a travel influencer very easy, as, you could take a picture on Mount Olympus, but not everybody was super happy uh, with this allowing of human beings to just cross over wherever they wanted to go. Um, Recently, Bodhi has uh returned from meeting her mom, and through some discussion is now back at the monastery that she once called home, although there has been some changes to its appearance and to the people who once lived there. At the same time, Nolan, who has been kind of dealing with being a Scion and what that means with like separation, um, has gone through some changes in the past 6 months. Uh, it's been about like a day. Baudelaire has come back. Nolan has taken care of his business. Um, and Sasha has been returned to the city as she no longer feels, stays at the monastery. It is now Tuesday morning. For the what seems to be the first time in like 2 years, there is no immediate danger. Nolan, what are you doing?
Um, New Nolan routine is hasn't really been sleeping. In the bed, there's someone tattooed up, kind of like taking up most of where he would used to stay in.
Hmm.
Um, Reasons unknown, doesn't really acknowledge him, but just knows he's there.
Yeah.
He's too busy cleaning up his arms and stuff. Um, he's taken on this weird alertness of there's always some sort of danger. So right now, kind of weird, everything's being quiet. Also weirder that he's back at the bathhouse. He hasn't turned anything on, hasn't really talked to anyone. It's weird. There's a stillness to him where he's waiting, but also prepping for something and taking on other business. It's that coldness is there. He's just working. I think that's all he's doing this morning.
Okay. Um, as you're working, uh, the someone knocks at the door.
Uh, Kind of slides lover boy in the holster.
Hmm.
Um, Kind of just goes to the door.
It is Phil, a relatively new hire.
Ah, Philip, hi. Um,
Hi, your lordship. And like Phil has never looked you in the eye. Like always, just like terrified to be in your presence.
uh, okay, Phil, you don't have to do the whole your lordship thing. I know the other guys told you to say that, but they're fucking with you. You don't have to say your lordship.
But you are a god, your lordship. I couldn't disrespect you like that. I just
Oh, goodness.
They asked me to check to see if it's okay to buy a new hot tub for a different location.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, your lordship, and
Uh,
deeply
Phil,
bows.
okay, Phil,
Yeah, yeah, yes,
you're
you're.
gonna, yeah, I get it, but you're gonna have to drop your lordship.
What should I call you?
You know, Nolan is fine.
Oh, okay, Nolan. And you can see like, or you hear like when he said Nolan, like there was just like terror in his voice, but he
Right.
got it out.
All right. If that doesn't work, okay, I hate this. Okay. If that doesn't work, you can call me. You can put Mr. in front of it if that helps. at any point.
Of course, Mr. Nolan. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, whatever. And he just closes the door behind Phil. When did that start? It was like a brief question of like, when did that start becoming tedious,
Hmm.
neutral, whatever? And he goes right back to working.
Okay. Um, having been a demigod for a while now, you are hearing more and more prayers. Do you filter like any of these prayers? Do you allow them all to come in?
Um, kind of listen to a few of them. I think like l l- listening in more for like the more serious ones, the more probably should get that out now.
Give me an. I use cunning too much. Empathy presence roll.
That's funny. Um, is there any divinity on this?
So you always roll with the divinity dice that you have.
Okay.
We'll be honest, I do not remember how much divinity dice you had from last time.
I don't remember. Did I think I'm at four. Yeah, I think I'm on four because I did a lot of
Yeah, last time there was much divinity happening.
yeah. Let me see. Empathy. You said empathy presence?
Yeah, you're kind of connecting to people's emotional pleas. There are the like the life and death prayers, but there's also the ones that someone's just like really dealing with something and that you need to like recognize that they're dealing with something to like help them out.
Uh, one success, and all of them are divinity. So,
Okay. Um, this is a very typical day for you as you're hearing prayer, but then one voice comes through, one that you definitely recognize. Uh, it is someone who you were formerly connected to, but then you cut the fates of. And she plays adoptive mother to two children who still are super excited to see you. Um, apparently, she has recently taken ill. While the weather is still not too cold to people who are used to the cold, um, it's still effectively summer and it's, drops down to like 2 degrees at night. And she was not ready for it. And
mm,
taking care of like two small children, who are used to a lot, considering they were, I don't think they were billionaires, but they were multi-millionaires.
yeah.
Takes a lot of her energy. And so she sends a quick prayer, just let me give me the energy to make it through.
He kind of kicks back. We see him kick back from the desk, kind of open the door. Because he knows someone's probably listening in, just like waiting on bated breath for him to say something.
Yep.
One of you, get in here.
Within 2 seconds, three people are in. One you recognize as Philip. Two you don't recognize. They're either brand new hires or you just have not been paying really special attention the last couple of months.
He just kind of focuses his attention on Phil. Phil.
Yes, yes, Mr. Nolan.
Okay, okay. Yeah, right. I need you to do me a favor.
Still not looking up, but like massive smile.
Great. All right. Got a prayer from someone. Kind of. This is a very important job, Phil. Like, I need you to like be a little bit more confident in whatever this is.
Yes, Mr. Nolan.
All right. There's a lady. Here's the address. She's taken ill. However, she has two children who have, think of them as like epic heroes. Your job is to make sure she gets better and those rambunctious tykes don't destroy the place.
Yes, Mr. Nolan.
Can you handle that?
Yes, Mr. Nolan.
Okay. You and I'm sorry, I don't even know your names.
It- and so they will respond like, it's okay, your lordship. You don't. And Nolan's like, no, you call him Mr. Nolan.
Oh, okay, okay, whatever. Just send me your names. Just send me your names.
So one is named John. The other is named Benjamin.
We just see him kind of write John and Ben's name up into the air. He also
Hmm.
does Louis. Um, we watch as the lettering kind of changes into like they start bending into these weird ruins. Um, and he just kind of gives them like a blessing to the three of them, um, giving them a warrior's blessing, just to
Hmm.
boost them up a bit, gives them some confidence, and also maybe some fighting power just in case something is amiss.
Right. All right. All three have been blessed by you. They are, I mean, they were always willing, but now are more confident in their approach, and will do their best to complete the task as described.
Okay, you three do a good job and don't fuck up.
Yes, Mr. Nolan.
All right,
And
have fun.
they turn around and head down the hallway.
Okay. And like without skipping a beat, just goes right back to like working, but then pauses, looks at the phone, wants to text or call someone,
Hmm.
but then it's just like, they told me it wasn't my problem, so I'm just not gonna bother them with it. They can do whatever they want. He just turns the phone over, goes right back to work.
As you go back to work, you see there are two eyes on you. It is, yeah, and the bed just like watching you, just like taking in everything you do.
Are you gonna sit there all morning? You're gonna get dressed? You're gonna say something?
So, it's a little. I was gonna do that, and then I decided just to watch this. The show was so engrossing. Yeah, taking on the little kids. Yeah, sending them off to do your work. The looking at the phone lovingly and longfully.
You know I can still throw you, right? I know that like you're some form of like part of whatever it is that it's part of my divinity, but you still can be thrown out of bed and into like the hallway.
Don't. I'm just enjoying the show. Don't throw me because I'm enjoying the show.
I hate when you talk in circles. Just get directly to the point. What is it?
If I told you what it was, wouldn't be doing my job now, would I? My job isn't to tell you what it is, it's just to help you find the way. You are the God, or soon to be God, or will be God, or might be God.
Okay, guide. What is it today? What is the new thing that you want to happen? You want to go out? You want to party? You want to
That's a good idea. I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna go party, and then I'll come back and bring you like a tea. Do you like tea? Do you like coffee? Do you like I'm gonna bring you a whiskey. Or a I'll bring you something. I don't know what it is, but like you have fun. I'm gonna
it
go.
doesn't affect me anyway like whiskey like I whatever you can do whatever you want.
And as he gets up and leaves, like he's like just watches you with this kind of like mischievous smile.
Also put some pants on. You're gonna scare. Like I know what type of like place this is, but like pants is decent for people early in the morning, and
And
also do not scare the other ones down the hall.
he just yells back, "Pants are for rich people."
Okay, okay.
This is a very interesting routine that Nolan has taken on. Bodhi, it is the your first morning back in a while. How has your routine changed, or how has it stayed the same?
So she's still going through the motions of meditating,
Hmm.
but it's much more focused in listening for prayers, and looking for specifically the ones that people who she feels needs savings from something, um, and then of course, she's not gonna fly around the world to go and do that. So, um, looking particularly for people praying in it to be saved from something in Atusa, and if she can find something that she can do.
So you also hear multiple prayers, but there seems to be two kind of patterns. There is a significant amount of people who are praying to some sort of divine to help save their plants. Like many plants were, there was a massive movement to grow a specific type of plants because that was sent to protect them from evil curses. And while Bodhi is well aware that that curse is gone, uh, the people who live in Atusa do not know that. And the fact that the weather is getting sufficiently cold and getting way below freezing at nights, many of these plants are not really making it through the night. And so there is some for to like please help bolster these plants so they can ride the cold weather out until the this like freak cold weather goes away. Um, and then there is one person who is praying to overcome his fear of snakes.
Tell me more about this person praying to overcome his fear of snakes.
Um, the prayer that came through um is seems to be this boy about the age of maybe 10 or 11. Says his parents are mad at him. Everyone like calls him like a coward, but he's afraid of snakes and he knows that there's this snake that has been sneaking into his house. He has tried to like trap it, but like whenever he thinks he traps it, and he goes to show it to his parents don't see it. Um, and he just doesn't want to be afraid of snakes anymore so that he can finally find the courage to stop this snake from like sneaking into his house.
Where does this kid live?
South Atusa, so a couple of blocks away from that coffee shop, the coffee shop. A couple blocks west of that.
Isn't that where our friend Viper used to live?
That is in fact,
Oh wait, no, we didn't. We didn't. Viper's still alive, right? We didn't even killed him yet.
yes,
Okay.
Viper is alive.
Okay. Um. Yeah, we're gonna go take a visit to this kid.
Okay. Are you calling him or you're just like you're just gonna make your way down there?
I'm just gonna make my way down there.
All right. Doesn't take very long. And because of the prayer, you know exactly where the prayer is coming from. You know which apartment it is.
I imagine the kid said his name at some point during the prayer.
The child would not have said their name. Um, Actually, some children do. Let's find out. Odds or evens?
Odds.
The child did, in fact, say his name. His name is Jean-Paul.
Okay. Did Sean? Did Jean Paul pray to a specific deity? To
No.
he just
Uh,
put it out there.
kind of put it out there, and because Jean-Paul was in need of saving, and because of your affinity with not only animals, but like this like warrior calling, it kind of made its way to you.
All right. So yeah, I'll just go knock on the door and ask for Jean Paul.
So you knock on the door, and the parents come, and they look at you, and they're like, "Oh, wow, did he, is he in trouble?"
No.
Jean, Jean-Paul. And Jean-Paul comes out and is just wide-eyed. And yeah, is gonna run and try to give you like a nice big hug.
So she's not gonna like kneel down and like greet the hug and
Right.
acceptingly. She'll just let the kid come up and like hug. 10 years old, probably like
Like,
waist height, maybe stomach
yeah.
height. Yeah. So she'll just let him uh, stand there and like just kind of pat him on the head. So you had some prayers that you had some that we should talk about.
Yeah, yes. Are you gonna help me overcome my fears?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. So yeah, let's. Where do you want to? How do you want to begin?
Yeah, he said so he'll like he's old enough. He'll like you I guess we can I'll show you where the bull I used to try to catch the snake.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And the parents will kind of like follow you around. One because they're watching the child. Two because you're like a demigod in their house and they're very confused as to what's happening. Three, they're also slightly embarrassed because there are no snakes in this house. Um, but Jean Paul shows you this like silver bowl, that's like usually used for like mixing things or like baking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that he has repurposed. Like you just like put it on the snake. And last time he brings out a couple of books that he had that he like tried to put on top so that he could get his parents. But whenever he comes back, the snake is
Okay. So, Jean Paul, how does the snake get in?
so he says he doesn't really know, but he always sees the snake in the kitchen
In the kitchen. What time?
after he's gone to sleep.
So it wakes
Oh,
you up.
because I hear what sounds like my parents outside, and then when I come out, turn the light on, I only see a snake.
Okay. Um, activating um, the predator sense. Is there? Do I get any
A
sense?
nice, what's the word for iron? You smell iron.
Iron. Remind me, because I didn't take notes of this. Did Viper smell like iron after we purged him of the
Yes,
brine?
Viper retained his iron scent. He did not retain his like briny scent. That
Right.
was gone.
Yep. Okay. Uh huh. So I'm going to spend some time examining the kitchen.
Mhm.
Um, see if there's any. Are there any, going through cabinets and stuff like that? See if there's any holes that anything could have come in through. See if
Mm,
there's anything that smells stronger than it should.
Nothing smells stronger than it should, although there is a back door out of the kitchen
Okay.
that has a what is the word? An iron scent on the door handle.
All right. We go out into the back through the door.
And then outside you see just like out to the open of a Tusa, as in like someone could just like walk off the streets, enter through the back door, go into the kitchen.
Okay. Trying to think of what an appropriate investigation role would be to get any clues or get anything more than just the scent of iron to more kind of nail down what this kid is, you know, because there's enough to for Bodhi to believe that the kid is not making this up,
Right.
but she's gonna want to find some additional evidence that can point to a certain direction. So, is there any role that can be done to spot something of that nature?
I would say cunning because you're trying to figure something out.
Uh huh.
And science. I could see science working. I could see
So,
e-
if
empathy working if you're like breaking down Jean Paul's like words. I could see
whatever whatever
survival.
Sean Paul is seeing is in fact in itself hiding um, from both his parents
Mhm.
and from Sean Paul with subterfuge.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. Devil in the detail specialty kicks in.
Yeah, you're specifically looking for detail. I like that.
I just have to remember which ones are my divinity dice. Okay. So that is three successes, none of them on divinity dice.
Okay. Um,
Um, four with the enhancement from the specialty.
okay. So you do in fact see what looks like to be snake-like movement in the kitchen. It is the kitchen does have like tile floors, but because of your enhanced senses, you can see where like the oils of a snake was like used to like maneuver through the kitchen. It suddenly stops like 7 feet in, and it seems like there are just suddenly shoes or shoe prints there. And so there seems to be a snake that can either fly in, slither, and then fly away, or a snake that can transform into a human being, and vice versa.
Okay. Um, I am going to find something, preferably in the kitchen,
Hmm.
that will, like if I put over the oily spots from where the snake came in,
Right.
will show up so that the parents can see.
Okay. So I know there's a thing. I don't know what the name of it is, but I know there was this thing. So you can just kind of like show them the proof, like, hey, there was this thing. Um, they don't acknowledge it.
This is going to be an empathy roll to find out what's going on in their head.
Yep.
Is this them covering, or is this them not believing
Yep.
in the side of evidence? Um, don't know them that well, so I would figure cold reads would
Yeah, that
would
works.
work. Okay. Um, hmm. Cunning.
I could see cunning work. I could see intellect work, or I could see composure working.
Oh, we're doing composure because it's kind of a social thing that.
Hmm.
Okay. That is four successes, one on a divinity die.
Okay, that is important. As you're reading them, they're not covering. Like they literally, their brains are not processing that whatever you're showing them is actually there. Like you get the feeling if you were to look through their eyes, they wouldn't see it. Um, there is some force that is blocking or severely reducing their ability to react to this.
Do I get the sense that it's a that someone intentionally put a block there? And
Yes.
okay,
And because part of that success was the divinity dice, you can also read the nature of how this divine energy is blocking their ability to like process these like elements of the world. It is this sort of like slothful suppression.
fucker, that motherfucker. Um, okay, so he's gonna sit down with the parents for a little while. He'll have a um, legally distinct entity that delivers um, food and snacks, come with coffee and tea and something for them. Um, get a sense of what's going on with the family and what is how's their day to day, what's going on, what kind of struggles they're seeing, um, what's going on in the neighborhood. Trying to kind of pick around and slowly get a better sense of how to approach to ultimately remove this
Right.
block if this is
So they seem very like forthcoming. They mentioned life has been going like pretty well. They were actually recently planning on doing like a family half marathon, just to like get out and like spend time with each other. Although recently they decided to like not do that. I mean, it's cold outside and like if we want to spend time to each other, we can spend time together in the house. And so we were going to do a game night, but then also like why force each other to play a game night? And so we actually just kind of like spend time separate, but we're still like in the same house.
so I'm hearing a bunch of ideas that were launched and then they walked back the idea to be lazy.
And you can see Jean-Paul seems like super bummed because apparently like Jean-Paul will interject and be like, we have run half marathons like for like 3 years and like he never finishes, but he always has fun doing it. They support him. And so this is the first year where they didn't run the half marathon.
What do the parents do that they might be targets of this person? What is it? What
Well,
is
you
it?
did ask
Yeah,
what was happening in the neighborhood.
yeah.
Apparently, many of the other people in this neighborhood also uh like removed their sign up from the half marathon.
how's things going with like crime in the neighborhood?
Crime in the neighborhood has actually is down the past like 10% the past few months.
Yeah, because if no one's no motivated to do anything, no one's out there trying to do things the police don't want them to do, or the police have just been people have just become lazy and not reporting, and the police are or not taking the reports. One of the two. Um, yeah. Okay.
As you're chatting with Jean-Paul and his parents, Nolan, after a few hours, you get a yeah, you get a call from Philip.
Um, he presses a button to turn on the speaker.
Mhm.
Hello?
I'm sorry, Your Eminence. Uh, this woman did not want us to help, but we insisted, and she let us cook for her. And then she spent the entire time berating how bad of cooks we were.
Um, Weirdly enough, there's like a small smile that crops up in his face. It's like, yeah, that's her. Yeah, she's stubborn like that. Anything
But
else?
she ate. I
But
don't recognize what illness she has.
um, it's like a montage. He's still on the phone. He's kind
Hmm.
of clicked it to an earpiece, but he's put the phone away. He's uh, packed his other pistol, put a long overcoat on. I bet a certain person is probably coming back with a whiskey. He just kind of grabs the whiskey out
Yeah.
of his hand as he's going down the stairs, knocks it back, puts in the hand of like another assistant's hand, and is kind of just headed out the door without telling anyone else, um, which is probably has got them in a tizzy, but he has not cared.
Hmm.
Um, and he's just making his way over to their location, still on the phone.
Now, how fast are you going? Like, could a human being follow you if they were so motivated?
Probably they
Okay.
probably could. It would take them a little bit, but yeah.
Okay, then that certain person is going to follow you at a relatively safe distance.
Do I sense this person?
Yes, they're not hiding. They're just like out of arm's reach.
Hold on a second. He's just gonna turn around. Well, you might as well come out because I can definitely hear and sense you.
See, we're finally going on an adventure. This is what I like. This is what we do.
Guess is this Alex or is this Chris?
Alex,
Alex, okay. Why do I feel like you have something in mind?
because you don't trust people. I don't, my mind is a blank. I have nothing in mind. And he gives you that like trademark, like mischievous grin.
Okay. Wait a minute, you're an oracle. How do you not have anything going through that head of yours?
I never said I was a good oracle. That's just y'all fault for believing me.
All right. He's just gonna keep making his way over to the location.
Yeah. And before you get there, you see oh, what were their names? Well, the two people who you just met, um, with the children as the children are practicing their swings on them.
Uh he's gonna go and walk past them, go into the door, but you just hear him go, take out the kneecap, and you take out his ankle.
2 seconds later, you just hear this like yell of pain and anguish.
Great, you're doing great, kids. And he knocks on the door.
Philip and opens the door, sees you, and eyes go like straight to the floor.
You don't, okay, whatever. He just kind of moves past him. Mrs. Peters, Miss Peters,
Oh, I remember you. How are you?
doing well. How about yourself?
Oh, can't complain.
He knows what that phrase means. He just sits down. Not to pry, Miss Peters, but I know pretty much a lot of things. So, what's wrong?
I'm just tired. It gets to you, and this cold is. The heat's not working, and I thought I had more time, but just a lot right now. But you don't trouble yourself. Like it's fine. In fact, if you want to trouble yourself, like teach these people how to season food. And she just like looks at Philip. Philip just
Yeah,
like looks away.
yeah, I know. But Philip is good at working on heat, right? Philip,
I yes, Mr. Nolan.
go get someone to help with the heat, Philip.
Thank you, Mr. Nolan. He like runs out.
He's new.
Yeah, he seems new.
They, they're very new. Uh, okay.
If you would, before you give me a medicine intellect check.
That is an intellect. Okay. You got brain. Okay. Okay. One success on Divinity die.
Okay, that's enough. This is a human thing. Well, Mrs. Peters was never a fan of like sharing her weakness or need for help. This seems beyond. Like you saw her very recently. Um, there is something that is beyond the typical I am just tired that is happening here, and it is not a disease humans usually experience, nor is it possibly even a disease, but just a effect of some sort of divine energy and or a curse and or something or the other.
Um, the same thing that he used on himself to shake off whatever was happening in his confrontation with Viper. He's
Hmm.
gonna attempt to do the same thing.
She suddenly like starts to feel not completely better, but like there seems to be something that was like loosened from her soul.
Okay, like there's a little bit of life back in her.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Mrs. Peters, I'm trying to figure out this code now. Not liking it myself. I'm more of a warm body, if anything.
Yeah, like I thought I would have to deal with this when I came here, but you can't control everything.
I think that line triggers something in him briefly. Um, but like he shakes it off after
Hmm.
a brief bit. Right, right. Can't control everything.
And she looks at you in a look you have seen before, but not for a while. She gets up, walks to her fridge, and brings you some Kool-Aid. Did not ask questions, just gives it to you.
Oh, he's definitely drinking the Kool-Aid. Unquestioning, still trying to figure out everything happening. Question, has it this code, has it affected everyone else in the neighborhood?
Um, a little bit, although apparently I got it. I was one of the worst people to get it.
You were one of the worst people to get it.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, other people are more used to cold than I am, but I figure once I get a good night's sleep, I'll be fine.
Right. Um, he goes to the couch, gets her favorite blanket, puts it around her. Well, okay. Well, you rest up here. Um, I'll have someone bring you over jambalaya because I know you like jambalaya. Don't worry, it's
You
seasoned.
you do know a lot. If I didn't know any better, I think you were watching me. But then again, and before she finishes that, she looks to her windows, and there is Alex just like being a full-on creeper, head in the window.
1 second. It's like a comedic scene, like he's just like sliding out of frame. There's
Yeah.
like no actual frame of him walking out. It's just him sliding back, sliding out in like out from the yard to the front yard, and then you just see him appear right behind Alex, and you just see Alex get chucked like into the snow somewhere, and then he slides back into frame. Right, right. Yeah, I don't have eyes all over the place as much as I would want to. But you're right, I can't control everything.
Yeah, but it seems to me like you're doing a good job. Your mom will be proud.
Well, one would think.
Well, thank you for this, but I need to go and start cooking dinner for those two. It has taken me a while to break them of their expensive habits.
Uh, if you know you can hire someone.
Like they need home cooking. Like I have to,
Yeah, but you could hire someone who can also do home cooking. It
but
does not just have to be you.
then I have to like watch them cook because they probably don't know how to cook. It's easy
Right,
if I
right.
just do it.
Yeah, no, I got you.
And she gets up, and once again, like there still seems to be something going on, but like energy is back. She's moving with more like passion.
Um, he's just gonna let her go to it as she goes back outside, making sure to close the door, not to let out the hot air.
Hmm.
Um, kind of looks at Alex. Okay, you've done your little creepy montage. What is it? What did you see?
So as he's still laying in a snowbank, he's like, "How's it feel, boss?"
What are you, my therapist? It feels like work.
I see. And he gets up, dusts off the snow. Well, it looks like I need to get back to work myself.
Doing what? You most of the time you're either laying about drinking something or under like five other dudes named Paul or Ryan or John.
No, no, not or, and. Let's get our conjunctions right.
Okay, and all right. So what work are you possibly could be doing?
The work of guiding you.
Right. Okay. Well, have fun with that, I guess. As long as you're not creeping out the windows. Do I need to teach you social cues?
I will do whatever needs to be done to get you to where you need to be. If that means
I
keeping in the window, I will.
I don't like that phrase or that way of you putting it, but you know what? Not touching it. Furthermore, God, my accent. We need to figure out why it's so freezing. This whole cold thing.
I can,
Would you like to be an oracle today and help figure that out?
would I like to? No. But I guess I can try.
Okay.
Hmm. So you roll you an occult roll.
Okay.
cunning plus 3 enhancement for Alex.
Okay. Okay. 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, 6 successes, all of them, with the exception of 2, are on divinity dice.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, as Alice part of the war purview, this will be a war thing. I'm sure you're understanding this through war. Um, so Alex, re not regretfully, like eventually just like starts to like channel and like see through his eyes to see what's happening here. And for a split second, you think you see real emotion on Alex's face. Does not take very long for him to like get rid of that and put the mask back on. Um, and he asks, "Have you pissed anybody off recently in the past 6 months?
War God, you're gonna have to be specific on like
Have you pissed anyone off who is willing to kill all of humanity slash possibly more?"
you're gonna have to be specific. I deal with Scions all the time.
Who, sure, okay, yes, but you don't deal with science who can kill all of humanity. You deal with science who want to kill all of humanity.
Well,
It
I
is
don't know who could be that Cthulhu thing, but I think that's just been gotten rid of, so I don't know anyone else.
there is deep malice, not in the snow, but in the lack of warmth. Whoever is doing this is not actively making it cold, but actively removing warmth.
In my in our collective brain, I think. Wait, hold on, go back. When you say active cold, do you see void, space?
Vo- yeah, that's a good word. I like that.
Which word?
Void.
Fuck. Um, Immediately, reluctantly to do it, but like it feels like if he doesn't do it, it might be more problems. There's another call he might have to make that might also be very annoying, but like this one closer to home, and he calls Bodie Lee.
Bodhi Lee, you are chatting with John Paul and his parents, explaining and they're explaining how like like no one in the neighborhood's really doing the half marathon this year. It just kind of feels like that's not a thing. Are there anything that you'd like to ask before this call comes through?
I mean, I'm really not the person to talk to about not running a race. You've heard of my you heard about my career before, and the that there's the college track and field championships and the Olympic medals and the
But we're
so
not saying like we never want to run a race, just like just not this year.
is it the cold or it's just the cold? Is that it? Is that like because I mean I ran races year round and
We're not as serious as you were. We just, do it for fun. It's a little cold this year, so we'll go next year. And you hear that when they say that Jean Paul just kind of lets out this sad sigh.
I'm gonna just lean over. Um, is it both of them equally, or is it the one parent that seems to be?
It does seem they both are like on the same page with this reducing of activity.
All right. So I am going to lean in. Um, Look one of them in the eye. I don't care which one.
Right.
She's whoever is closest enough to get close and almost intimate contact
Mhm.
space. Um, and we're gonna pull on the lover calling.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Um, and to attempt to convince this parent that this is what the child needs from you, and to pull on those heartstrings.
Give me, if you would, persuasion presence with the dots in lover as enhancement.
All right.
And you'll be rolling against the level of the curse on these two.
All right. If I can I invoke the calling of lover for scale
Yeah,
by imbuing a legend into this?
yeah. Which also means one more divinity die.
Yeah. Um, okay, we'll use that for the divinity die. All right. And or actually, you said this was a curse, right?
I think by this time you would have, yeah, pieced through that it is in fact a curse.
Legendary title: Who breaks the curse? All right. So we got four successes,
Mm-hmm.
but only one of those is a divinity die.
That is enough. Um, as you speak, um, the heart of the parents start fluttering. Um, and they like some tears start, and they realize that while they were like being convenient and trying to avoid the cold. They didn't realize how much Jean-Paul really wanted to do this, and so they were like, "Well, we've been saving up. What if we like spend some like cold running gear and do this as like our this will be our adventure this year?" And not only are they so excited for this, but they also call some of the other parents to try to convince them, "Hey, like let's buy some like cold weather gear together. Let's buy as much as we can and then like pass it out so that even if people don't want to run, they still have something to help fight this cold." Um, Seems like at the very least the curse on these two have been broken, and they are actively working to persuade others to resist that curse.
Do we still have access funds that Doug had left for us?
If I remember correctly, you all had access to it, but you were letting the Doug Foundation maintain it until you decide to like take it.
I'm gonna make a call to the Doug Foundation.
Hmm.
Give them the parents' names, and tell them to place the Doug the Doug Corporation, Doug Industries probably has
Yeah.
some clothing line associated
Oh
with
yeah.
it. So work out a way that the foundation and the um, clothing line can do a charitable donation to this neighborhood to allow them to, yeah, taking that back, we're gonna have the foundation in coordination with the Dog Industries clothing line sponsor this race, and every participant gets a set of cold weather gear, running gear.
Interesting. And so like everyone is like super excited. The parents are calling everybody back saying we don't even have to worry about it. The race is now sponsored, and if you race, you're going to get this like high quality like cold weather gear, so it'll be like warmer than we it usually is. Um, Jean Paul once again comes up and like runs you. His prayer has been answered, which does mean he is now fate bound to you, having witnessed you breaking through what to his mind was just stubborn parents, but to you was like a curse.
What is you with fate binding children to us?
I mean, I just put people out there. It's not my fault y'all are like protecting the children.
It's not the parents whose curse that was just broken. No, it's the kid that prayed for it. Okay.
Actually, it makes more sense for it to be the family because you can be fate bound to things. So the family is
All right.
now just Bodhi support. They love them some Bodhi.
All
But
right.
since I don't have the names for them, we'll say Jean Paul family.
Sean, Paul, family. One dot. Fate binding.
Yeah.
Family
No,
with
I'm gonna say two
kid.
because of the nature of what just happened.
All right.
And as you're like sitting there being hugged by a 10-year-old, your phone rings.
Remind me to stop answering children's prayers.
I'm not even going to comment on that, Miss Lee, but it seems we have a situation involving the weather.
Yes. Do you have any particular leads on this?
Well, two. One, I think Rachel has reached critical mass in death, or maybe this is her way of reaching divinity. I don't know, but apparently through have a source who seems to see the void and a familiar divine who knows how to invoke the void. And this is the void's doing, void of heat.
So do we're sure it's Rachel, and she's walking out of the apartment. Um,
Yes,
okay.
well, there was also the other hint of her mother calling me and asking where she was, so I'm guessing this is where she is.
I mean, the other option is her mom has come looking for her. So,
Mm, something tells me if she came here looking for her, it would be massive devastation already. It wouldn't just be an absence of heat.
all right. Well, that is a bigger problem than the one that I was dealing with. So, do we got any leads on what happened with Rachel after your uncle nuked her, essentially?
Well, I have someone looking out for to see if the body had moved, but I haven't heard back from them, so I'm a little concerned. I'm also concerned that Viper's running around and doing his shenanigans while this is happening.
Oh,
So,
Viper is definitely he's this fucker's breaking into homes and scaring children to apparently he thinks it's good because if people are lazy, they don't do shit, and he thinks how that somehow makes him. I don't know. I don't understand the logic, but yeah. Um, Viper's easier to deal with than and more, and we know where he is. We can just resolve that problem, and then we can focus all of our energy on the big one. Apparently, the phone call cut out right there.
Yeah. Um, as you're like heading back, there really is just a massive chill in the air. Um, but you do know that Viper is causing issues. Uh, while you don't necessarily know where he is now, you do have his number, and he has historically answered.
He's also um, just generally been a pain in the butt. Let's. Um, hmm.
Viper has been. Viper has always been a kind of an oddball. Never really um meshed well with Doug or many of the other Scions.
Well, that's because he's not a Scion.
That is true. Viper, although, well, Viper doesn't seem to know it himself. Viper's not a Scion. He's an avatar of who we don't know. Um, it's pretty close to when we usually do this. So let's take a quick break, get some water, go to the bathroom, and then we will return in about 10 minutes to continue the adventures of Bodhi and Nolan as they take on Viper, and bring warmth to this very cold land. See you then.
Bye.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to Scion the Tower. Um, Bodhi and Nolan are kind of discussing the source of this uncharacteristically cold end of summer.
Yeah, so deal with Viper, figure out what needs to be done there, and then we can focus on Rachel.
Yes.
All right.
Um, Thing is though, I don't know what happened. Let me go back. When I had your memorial and also Doug's, wasn't able to have hers.
Okay. So, is that where we start?
Unfortunately, still waiting. Because he sent this back a little bit. Has anyone found her body at any point? Because they said it was at the hotel, but like nothing else
Yes,
afterwards.
the body was taken from the hotel almost immediately, when whoever was changing over the room, like founder, was taken to the morgue. The autopsy revealed no immediate cause of death that they could identify. Um, but identified she was dead, so they just kind of like put her in holding and was like, or like in just the morgue. And I was like, we'll keep her here until somebody like comes and says, "Hey, oh no, Rachel, we will take care of, thank you for holding her." Um, that was what, 6 months ago?
Yeah. I guess just gonna tell her. Um, Miss Lee, we would have to go to the morgue.
Okay. Do we do? All right. We're just gonna walk in there and be like, "Hey, where's Rachel at?" Or should we reach out to one of the cops
Oh,
that we've run into and
no,
somehow
we can.
have? Okay, we can avoid. Good. All right.
Yeah. I you know what? It's better if you experience it. I think you are brand new to everything. He keeps walking. Every so often looking at Alex.
Who just kind of like has this. You've known Alex for a little bit, and so whenever you look at Alex, there's this characteristically mischievous smirk. Anytime you start to look away, the smirk drops, and there is this look of dread on his face.
Alex, is there something you want to tell the class?
This was fun and games, bro. I like you, Nolan. Like you're super fun to annoy. Um, but you need to figure this out sooner rather than later. Not just for you,
Again?
but
Wasn't
for
even.
everyone. What's stopping you from being the god of war right now? And as they're having that conversation, Bodhi, they're heading to the, I swear I know where it's the morgue. Do you have any plans? Are you just gonna like stroll in? Are you gonna be polite as you try to see Rachel?
I'm a blue skinned demigod
Yeah, like
with
no
with
one
the
is going to stop
with
you.
the death purview. Um, this is a place that I should be able to just waltz right into.
Hmm.
Um, with the lover knack of soothing presence It calms everybody around me when they first meet me. Um, so yeah, and I'm pretty much just going to walk in. I'll be polite,
Okay.
but um, definitely give off the vibe that like, yeah, I belong here. So that
Okay.
if anybody questions why she's here,
So yeah, no one questions you. They are, do you reveal who you're coming to see or that you're just coming to be in the morgue?
I'm not going to necessarily reveal who I'm coming to see. I'm going to let the death purview guide me to where I'm supposed to be.
Okay. Um, as you walk in, you are ushered to the back and you see three walls, each just full of those drawers. The one to the right side has one drawer that seems to be iced shut.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Does it open?
Um, I mean, you are a demigod. If you like put your back into it, you can get it open, but it is. It would take effort, not legend, but definitely effort.
Does my innate power from epic strength at +1 scale breaking, carrying, or lifting large objects apply here?
If you choose to use that, you can. That
It's
would
it
not
is
open it, but it would break it open.
it is an innate power. So it's just kind of a thing that he has. But also, you know, if we know Rachel's in there,
Yeah.
is she is her spirit in there?
No.
Can I? Is there? I can communicate with the dead as part of my innate power with death. Are there dead people? Are there any shades, ghosts, any
Oh
lingering
yeah.
soul? Yeah, yeah.
All over. And they're all just kind of like very interested in what you're doing. As you know, they could tell that you could chat with them. They're
Yeah.
all wandering around.
Just gonna point to where is she?
She was taken a long time ago.
Who took her?
The Riverman, I think, personally came.
It's never good when the Riverman personally comes to take someone. What's your story? How are you here?
Oh, was sick for a long time. Eventually at 80, I just decided I was done.
Huh? But why haven't you passed on?
It usually takes some time. My body hasn't been laid to rest yet, but apparently it should happen soon. That's usually what we see. Like we see people once their body's laid to rest, then they can pass on. It was weird that they took her so early. We figured she was somebody special or something.
Yeah, her mom's kind of a big deal.
Well, I hope that she gets to see her mom soon.
Yeah, unfortunately, if the Riverman came to take her, she might not be the one going there. He might not be leading her there. Does can you feel the cold that she's emanating? That her body is emanating?
It does. I was told that I shouldn't feel anything, but it does feel slightly chillier than I expected.
Yeah. Thank you for your time.
No, no problem at all.
She's gonna kind of look towards um, the drawer. Is there any like? I mean, she can just break it open,
Hmm.
but
I mean, there are tools. Those tools are usually used for like surgical precision rather than like,
chiseling away at ice. Okay.
yeah,
Um,
but like there would be some that are like heavier duty, for some of the tougher parts of the body so that you can use to.
yeah. We'll. I am not a mortician. I don't know the correct term for these,
Mhm.
but use like the rib splitter and those kind of things to kind of
Yeah.
work and pry it open. Um,
Yeah, like I
yeah,
say, like it will take time, not legend, but it will take some time just like slowly and surely chipping away at it. Unless you, of course, just want to rip, Hulk rip door off, which will be instant, but will rip all doors off.
yeah, yeah. We don't want
Okay.
to.
So while you are choosing a way to like reveal the body, um, Nolan, you are outside with Alex, who is uncharacteristically not mischievous, which actually may be a little more annoying or like concerning than his usual mischievous behavior.
Okay. Hmm.
So he asked
What?
you, do you know why you are not the god of war right now?
Because there's someone already sitting on the throne?
Oh, no, that's never stopped anybody before. Why would it stop you?
Okay, that makes sense. So it's like we have like what, 18 to maybe 21 different war gods,
Hmm.
although he's like the top head. Then I don't know I why.
You've lost a lot of things, Nolan, that's clear. But you haven't replaced those things with anything. I'm watching you slowly become a husk of who you are, and a husk cannot be a god of war.
Oof. Okay. I'm a husk. And is that it? That's
See, the thing about being a guy is I can't tell you what to do. I don't know how to be a god of war, or I would be. You do. You just have to figure it out. And I hope you do. I actually like bothering you. And I would actually be sad if you don't make it.
so I'm a husk that does not make it, is what I'm hearing.
You're a host that can make it. And I hope you do.
I think it's the first time he actually starts laughing. More out of indignation than actually
Yep.
hearing something funny. Um, all I get taught was sacrifice and losing things and losing that thing and cutting that thing off and losing that hand and hobbling yourself and losing family. And then I get told that I have to replace it with something.
When people come to you, they want to come to somebody.
I've been somebody for everybody for the last 6 months.
That's the problem right there, Nolan. You've been somebody, and I've watched you give and give and give. Who's there for you?
Uh, Nolan was about to say me, and then two thoughts happened. One, am I still the same African American who would be able to use this pejorative? And then two, the second one was, do I even have me?
hmm
The first one got overwritten because like somewhere he's just like, oh no, maybe I don't know how that works. But the second one is just like, huh, table that. This is not important right now because right now I'm needed. And right now something has to be done about the code. So he's just gonna go, okay, you know what? We'll come back to that later.
Sounds good. I'm going to go in the morgue and start yelling, "They're walking!" and have some fun. I'll see you later.
Have fun, buddy. And he's just gonna go, um, gun holstered and just looking around. Um, is it what does he see? Is everything frozen here or
No, but you do see most of the people who are working there, they just start ushering you to the back without even talking, because you are divine and they can see it, and you are ushered into the back, where Bodhi is chiseling at one of the drawers that is in fact frozen over, but she has gotten rid of like much of the ice at this point.
he's not gonna say anything. He's just gonna go to his phone and start texting something. He's just gonna wait until maybe she acknowledges him, but he's just gonna sit there and text while she's just chiseling away.
Um, so her body is here, but apparently the ferryman has already come and taken her.
Huh. Body's frozen here. And the ferryman hasn't been here.
The ferryman has taken her soul, so if it's just her body that's causing the cold, that is impressive, I guess.
Uh, Now he's taking out two phones.
hmm
Uh, on one hand, he's texting her mother. Hey, I think I know what happened. Seems Hades kind of fucked up his job and didn't handle a divine's body. Also, the ferryman most likely has been here, so the fact that he hasn't sent your daughter your way means he's fucked up in more ways than one. Send. And then on the other phone, he just calls Hades.
Okay. Someone picks up, not Hades, feminine voice.
Oh, hello.
Hello? Uh, is this Nolan?
Wait a minute, is this Persephone?
Hi, how are you doing? Oh
Oh,
my gosh, I've
wow.
heard so much about you.
Wow. I have not been introduced to the family enough to know much about you personally, but I have heard the stories and I'm impressed.
Thank you, thank you. I do what I can.
Hi. I listen, this is going to be so awkward, but currently we're dealing with winter and Hades seems to have not handled the any divine passing apparently. Um Currently he's allowed the void to be opened up and we're experiencing cold in the middle of summer.
Um, so about that, uh, I think he knew something about it. He didn't really tell me much. He was just like, hold my phone, I'll be back. And that was a few months ago. So I don't know where he is. So I'm pretty sure he knows something about what's going on. But, maybe I can help.
Sure, I didn't want to put you out.
Oh, it's no problem.
Um, sure. How do you deal with someone who can literally absorb heat and life energy from a planet, apparently, when they're currently deceased? He kind of looks at the body.
Destroy the body?
Huh. Yeah, I was hoping we wouldn't have to come to that, but destroying the body does sound like the next option, unless you know of another one.
I mean, I could like ask around, surreptitiously and see if anyone else has a thing and then call you back.
Sure, that'd be great. No pressure though.
Don't worry. It'll give me something to do here. Yeah, I'll call you back tomorrow.
Sure, and I'll probably send a few people to visit. Y-
I mean, I love people, so anything you can do would be just superb.
Sure, you know what? I might even send a god you guys this way to come visit. A snake one at that.
Well, like I say, I'm always here. Hey, maybe you should take my number so we can chat.
Sure. That's he just opens up the phone,
And then
takes
she
down her
gives
number.
you her number so you can get in contact with Persephone whenever you so choose.
Okay. Well, it's nice meeting you, and I hope I can see you at the next family reunion.
Definitely. I'll see you soon.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mask fully drops. Okay, so here's what's happening. Apparently, Hades went out to go and handle it, but has not been back to finish the job. So I think he might be dead, which is ironic, seeing as he's the god of death, and he might be dead. Oh, we might have to destroy Rachel's body.
Well, that is unfortunate. So let me just recap some things.
Hmm.
Your uncle is missing.
Hmm.
And I haven't heard any updates on this recently, but your dad is missing.
Hmm.
Okay. Any other family members missing?
Miss Lee, I haven't talked to my family in the last 6 to 8 months. So I would not know what is going on. Alex would know, but Alex is currently, and he holds the door open for Alex to be screaming around. They're walking.
Alice is like, "Oh my gosh, everybody, run now! They're moving around. We can't stop them."
He just lets the door go.
Do you, maybe you should bring Alex in here.
You sure? I want you to be so clear and so. Do you want Alex to be in here, correct?
I think that would help answer some questions, maybe.
All right. You see, you, not me, asked for this. Hey, Alex.
Yes, boss. And he comes like skipping in.
The nice goddess lady would love to ask you a few questions.
Well, hello, nice goddess lady. My name is Alex.
Alex, it is nice to meet you. So, Nolan over here believes that maybe you might have more insight as to who among his family might also be missing at the current time.
I mean, only a few gods are missing.
We know of Ares and Hades.
Okay.
All right, who
Only
else
a few
is
more.
okay? Who else is missing?
I don't think I'm allowed to say that.
Why wouldn't you be allowed to say that?
Well, if there is something that is making gods missing, I certainly don't want to get on this bad side.
Okay. Alternate
By the way,
idea.
um,
If
Alex,
someone is,
mhm,
yeah, go ahead.
you noticed that Alex was at first when Alex came in, he was walking very strange, and now you're pretty sure what he's doing. He has not stepped on a shadow since he's been here, which is very difficult to do because there's like the table and there's all these things where shadows can be. He has avoided every single one.
Think about this, Alex. If someone was making gods disappear, and someone was able to track down who it was that was making those gods disappear and find out that, taking a step back, so making gods disappear is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, we
Right,
can
right, right.
agree on that.
And keeping it silent is probably not an easy thing to do for um, this, because if that got out, that gods were missing. Um, especially if since they so far seem to be all from one pantheon, that would cause some problems with that pantheon. But some other pantheons might look into that, and
Hmm.
some might, um, some allies might try to jump in and help out, and really makes things worse for someone who's trying to keep quiet. And some other pantheons or some titans might try to see that, find out, and make an opening of that.
This is true, but I'm gonna stick on the team with the thing that can kill gods. That's where I'm gonna put my money.
Did you said kill?
You're just pretending. I did not say kill. I said confront. See, the kill and confront, they sound the same. Like, it's fine.
They share like one letter or one sound, not even the same letter,
Yeah, well, which is why
and
I'm like
different,
shocked you got those
different,
confused.
and different amount of syllables. She's just gonna reach out for a lamp,
Hmm.
one of those like works where they have like hanging lights or
Yeah.
something like that. Guide it, point it directly at him,
Hmm.
and then slowly take her hand and start to cover the light.
And he will slowly just like move.
He's keeping the light on, right on. She's keeping the light right on him.
Hmm.
So we can guess, or you can tell us. be aware that we are going to figure this out.
I really hope you do, for the sake of the world. Um, but there are certain names I don't say ever.
Wait, is this her mother's doing?
See, I only came here so that I could pretend like there are zombies running around and y'all have me saying things. I'm gonna go back outside and
Um,
pretend they're zombies, unless
No,
you have questions that I'm willing to answer.
Nolan's divine flares up. He releases the green flame. Uh, that cut that seems to like grow to the back of his head.
Hmm.
That weird green flame fade that is happening. This can go one or two ways. I could, seeing as you are what you are, could use your true name for this, and then it gets messy from here.
Which we don't
We
want to
don't
do
want to do
that.
that.
We don't want to
No,
do that.
we don't want to do that. So, if you can, please tell the nice young lady what it is that she needs to know, what we need to know, so we can go ahead and solve the issue.
I will not do that. However, in lieu of that, I will tell you a story.
Sure.
Uh, when I was watching you and Miss Peterson talk, Peter talk, I looked in her eyes and I saw what seemed to be the love of a mother. Now, clearly that can't be true. You two have no relation, but I recognize it when I see it. And I looked at the pain in her eyes when, like, she realized she was looking at someone who was not her son, and how much pain it must be for a parent to know that someone has attacked their child and then hidden them from her. What would that parent do if that were in fact to be true?
Wait, go back, repeat that one more time.
Uh, Miss Peters has very pretty eyes.
I'm going to turn you into the Walking Dead if you don't get to the part that you know exactly what I want you to repeat.
The child may or may not be missing. Soul taken and hidden from a parent.
Okay. You're saying Mrs. Peters is looking for her lost child.
I'm saying whoever is out there is incensed that their child is nowhere to be found.
So you're telling me that Mrs. Peters and also she who shall not be named are both connected somehow and looking for their kid?
No, no, not connected, just more of a story.
an analogy, if you will.
Oh, I don't have time to do with analogy. Okay, great, got it. Cool. Analogy. All right. So she should not be named is looking for her kid, but her kid is not here, but her kid is somewhere out here, and now she may or may not be taking out gods because her daughter may not be out there, and no one's giving her any answers.
I mean, that would make sense to me, but what do I know?
You know what?
How
Go
to
have fun.
how to get on our nerves. That is what you know.
Yeah.
I try my best.
Okay. You know what? Go have fun causing havoc and just telling people that The Walking Dead is happening.
And Alex,
I'm
once again, skips,
well,
missing every shadow.
as
And as the
as
door opens,
as
he's like,
Al, as
hmm?
Alex leaves. I'm gonna do a Marvel here,
Hmm.
um, and all the shades in the morgue are going to make themselves known to Alex over a period of time.
Okay.
They're going to randomly just, manifest and become visible to him. um, for a moment, um, until they have moved on to the underworld or their next life, whichever comes first, and whichever location they end up in.
Two things happen immediately. As the door open, Alex yells out, "Oh my gosh, I've been bitten! I want brains!" At which point a shade immediately makes itself present to Alex. Alex looks at the shade and starts putting on his best therapist voice, talking to the shade through the process of death, um, talking to the shade like, "Don't worry about your family. They will grieve, but through this grief, they will always be connected. They will remember you." It's as if like he was built to do this.
He's a damn psychopomp. All right.
Yeah, so let me explain. That isn't a mortal or a human. To be honest, it's closer to us than anything else.
I figured he was something if he had, that kind of knowledge. So yeah,
I
I'm
will
gonna
say,
keep him
by
talking.
doing this, you have decreased his chaos because he is like talking to all the shades, going into
Yeah,
straight up work mode.
yeah. This is more to keep him busy than you know. All right. So is the door still open?
Nah, he would have closed it to like get some privacy as he's talking to the shades.
All right. Have you heard back from Nyx?
Hmm.
Nope.
No, he's still trying to get. He's trying to get through, send a text, but the last time I talked to her was when I came back to the city, and I was looking. Well, it's not important why I had to come back to the city, but it was about the time before I found out you were here. So
Did you tell her the ferryman had taken her?
no, but I figured Hades would know if she died. So seeing as that's his whole deal.
Yeah.
If you keep trying, eventually you will get a short text. Busy, we'll call back.
Okay. He's not going to push too much. It's more of he's framed it as like, well, we currently found her body, but we think her soul has already been ferried off. That's kind of like how he's framing it.
Did you tell her that information?
Hmm. All right, Bodhi. How much of a reaction do we need? And this is the first time he has called you Bodhi in a while.
I mean, we need to. I mean, if what he's implying is that, what your friend here is implying is that uh, Nyx is essentially on a warpath and hunting down gods who may have had a part in her daughter's disappearance.
Frankly, I don't really care about the well-being of them, but I do care about the well-being of the city in a weird way. So, I don't know. Honesty seems to be the best policy when it comes to her.
If we don't, I mean, look, if this is something that will get her attention, this is something that will at least get us in touch with her.
Right.
so that
Um,
maybe we can find a way to the next step forward in this.
he's just gonna send a quick text. He's gonna relay the ferryman information.
2 seconds later, you get a phone call.
He's gonna go ahead and answer. Hello?
Hi, Nolan. How are you doing? I'm sorry I haven't had you for tea in the past few epochs. It's I've been a little busy. How are you doing?
Ah, doing well as I can be, although it's been a tricky situation these last few months, or the last time I saw you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do to help?
Well, more so, I just want to solve your situation because it seems you're still looking for Rachel, and I don't want that to be weighing on you.
Yeah, you said the ferryman took her.
It seems that way, but I don't know what happened in between them ferrying her off and why it seems that her body is here cold and frozen all over the place.
Hmm. Well, I guess that just means I have to look through every soul in Hades.
Right, right. And let me ask, you weren't given a warning about anything? You didn't hear anything? You didn't see anything through her eyes? Something that could send us in the right direction?
I did not know she died until you told me.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I thought all things went through.
You don't need to
Hmm,
apologize. I'm glad you told me.
right. Well, we'll try to keep searching on our end. Unfortunately, we're dealing with a bizarre winter, so I'm trying to handle that while searching for Rachel and also handling another situation on top of that.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not good at not doing winter, but maybe I can help you with the other situation.
Really?
Well, if you tell me what it is, and I'd be more than. I mean, you have been so nice to me, and you and your friend Bodhi came and like had tea with me, and no one ever does that. So, like, I would love to help.
Well, it is kind of unfortunate because this kind of adds on to your situation currently. It seems that a certain Scion, going by the name of Viper, has been taking advantage of the situation with the cold and also your daughter's disappearance.
I see. Alex walks in. Um, and like in the cold where you breathe out and there is that like that cold breath. Like he is breathing that cold breath, way colder than it should be anywhere. And he walks in and he gives you a trinket of the moon. She says, "Put this on that Scion."
Will do. And as far as her remains, how do you want us to handle those?
No, that doesn't matter. I just care about her soul. Whatever is uh easiest for you all. You've been so respectful to her, and she would tell me how you like took her under your wing. Whatever is easiest for you.
Right. Um, is there a cultural ceremony that you want us to have?
Possibly, I'll be honest, I'm not really that connected to humans. As long as I can like meet with her soul and we can be together, I'm happy.
Right. Okay. Well, I'll have it done immediately, ma'am.
And then yeah, you just let me know when you put that on that Scion, and then I will take care of it.
Will do. Have a great one, ma'am. And we'll come visit for tea sometime soon.
Please do. I think I finally figured out how to make good tea when it's cold. I think it's called iced tea. It's great. Um, I think it's like a block of tea ice. It's you're gonna love it. I've been working very hard on it.
Okay, thank you, and I hope you're able to find her, ma'am.
Thank you. Don't worry. If it takes me forever, I will find her.
Uh, he just hangs up the phone. Well, I think I know what happened. Although this is on par for what my family does. So, to fill in, I think they saw Rachel as a possible threat on Earth. They decided, let's eliminate that portion, quietly hit her soul or eliminate her, or however they decided to process that. And instead of allowing Nyx to actually be able to grieve or have any contact, well, they hit that from her, and you know the rest.
Lovely.
Which explains why they're going missing, because if anything, if they're involved with Hades, and that means Ares, Zeus, maybe Aphrodite and her lot might also be tangled up in this.
We haven't found out who else is missing. Yeah. Oh,
A-
okay.
Alexandros, he's actually using his true name for the first time in a while.
How can I be of assistance?
Oh, great, wonderful. Who's missing currently, other than the two we've kind of discovered?
Those two, Zeus, Aphrodite, and what was her name? Poseidon, have all gone missing. Although only the two that we mentioned before are dead.
Go back, what?
I
Two
mean,
are dead?
Two
he
are dead.
he did say killed,
Yes,
and
but
then
like,
denied it. Um,
which two are dead currently?
Guessing 80s and Aries.
Hmm.
Okay, well, that gives two bad problems, but wait, hold on for a second. He's just gonna snap his fingers. Hey, Alex, buddy. All right. Yeah, yeah, I know, but you weren't, I'm sorry, but you weren't being like, you're being your usual self, so I had to go ask you know who.
Cool, but also very fair. I can't blame you on this one.
Right. Okay, so two dead gods, and I'm not hearing any gods fighting it out in the ring. Explain.
I mean, explain why they're dying so easily.
Well, that could be helpful, but also why isn't the sky falling? I know there's ice everywhere, but I think we solved that portion. But there should be gods, setting places ablaze. Someone trying to Game of Thrones everything.
Well, a couple of reasons. One, while these gods like maintain these entities, the divine energies take a while to dissipate. And so Hades, the realm, is in disarray. It'll just take a while before it gets too backed up for humans to like realize like why is no one dying? So that's coming. It's just not here yet. Um, Two, people want to take over, but if they take over, they put themselves in the target of certain people.
Ah,
Whoever the god of death is going to die because she will get them.
oh,
So,
Well, that's a new
Alex,
one.
just for clarification, so that we know who we're up against, and we can kind of see how to best deal with this. Is she Nyx? Is that who we're talking about, or is this something else, someone else?
Nolan, are you like holding Alex so he doesn't run away?
Oh yeah, definitely. Hand right there.
Nah. So you feel that like tug where that like instinct ran. He was like, yes. Or no, maybe. I'm not going to say yes or no one way. I am going to begin each answer with yes, but I will always say no to maintain plausible deniability.
Great.
Have you met her?
I'm still alive, right?
That doesn't answer the question.
I have not met her.
Do you know who has?
I assume Hades and Ares.
Think of someone you've spoken with more recently.
I think Aphrodite told me stories about her.
More recently.
That shade I just spoke to, that shade didn't know anything.
More recently.
The people outside, when I told them there were zombies who didn't listen to my like hilarious jokes.
He's,
Do you just want
obviously,
to
he's going to keep doing this.
just show him who the last person you called is, Nolan?
Remember outside when I said, I am not a god of war, and so I don't try to be a god of this is what I mean. I don't talk to Nyx, and that's what keeps me alive because I am not a god.
You're literally the personification of battle and war. That's kind of like your whole people's like spirit thing. Is that kind of like you guys are like the sons, the men of war, technically.
Yes, kind of, but not fully. And to maintain myself, I pick and choose my battles.
Let me break this down real easy for you. Nolan just had a conversation with her. We have both met and spoken with her. She likes us.
I think there's just been a little confusion. She's not human. She's
No.
not even divine. She doesn't like or dislike. She just is. And even if she likes you, because of what she embodies, you will die.
Maybe it'll keep the third time. Who knows?
Maybe.
Now, as if you would like to shed any light on the subject, now would be a good time if you've got any advice or help or anything that you can say to make sure that we are on the right path.
Advice to keep you on the right path. You are talking about an entity who existed before time, will exist after time, exists outside of the universe and within. It is easy to fight the god of war. It is not easy to fight eternity.
We're not trying to fight eternity.
Well, eternity is trying to fight you.
So it's not Nyx.
It is, or maybe it isn't.
Trying to get it.
All right. So we're done. We're done with him for the time being. Does that sound right? Yeah. Yeah.
Mm, more or less. For right now, Viper problems, finding a Ward problem, then we can get to, well, dealing with the creeping void that it seems to be creeping on all of us. But first, we have to deal with the whole entropy thing happening. So I feel like if we solve that first, we can probably get
Yeah.
to the other
All right.
problems.
Story guide. By this time, it has enough time passed that the Rachel's
Yeah,
cabinet has
you would have like chilled out.
decommed.
Like you can.
Yeah, we can get her body out, and I know nothing about other than you put the coins on the eyes. I don't know if that's still gonna be of any use at this point in time.
Mhm.
Um, but I saw. I think it was Xena. They did a funeral pyre thing.
Oh
Is,
yeah,
is that is that does that seem appropriate, Nolan?
Yeah, but actually, I think I know where you want to have an appropriate funeral at.
All right. So yeah, we'll take care of this, and then we'll go see Viper, and then we'll make our way on to the next um, obstacle fates throw at us
Well,
until we die or until we become gods and have the power to put our hands on fate and pull the strings and turn the wheel in the right direction.
um, other than what was told earlier, Nolan's kind of totally unbothered by a lot of this. It's just mostly like, okay. The earlier outburst was more into shock, so he kind of just grabs up Rachel's body,
hmm
um, with kind of finding like a blanket of sorts, kind of swathing her up, lifting her up, um, putting the phone up to his ear. He's called a few people, um, called the funeral parlor, having them arrange something at an observatory, so a place where they can see stars and things like that.
Could you repeat that? My internet gave up for a second.
Repeating that. He's gonna swaddle Rachel up, call um his people, and also a parlor. He's also calling Doug Industries,
Mhm.
just telling them to make quick arrangements for Rachel's body at the observatory,
Okay.
somewhere where stars and space can be seen. The void is where he's having this funeral at. He's kind of putting it on like as soon as possible. This kind of has to get done.
Okay. So like tomorrow night type thing.
What's the moon looking like tomorrow night?
Let's do a little roll.
Yeah,
Roll.
if I had my
Oh shit.
Oh,
werewolf moon
New
phase
moon.
dice.
oh, new moon, perfect.
Okay. Tomorrow night it is. They will get everything taken care of. And you just come to the observatory tomorrow night. You bring her body. And we will put her to rest there.
Okay, hi. Where do we go next? I'm bringing her to bathhouse and do that whole the divine bath sort of deal before sending the body off. So, what do you need us to do, Miss Lee?
I think we've done everything we can here. So unless there's anything else that you can think of, if the Rachel thing is all taken care of at least for the moment, we go have a conversation with Viper.
Wonderful. Uh, Weirdly enough, there's like a car that comes out up front. He's had there's like two people who look kind of armored, but also have like veils across their face, kind of stand outside by one of the cars. All right. There should be attendants at the bathhouse. Have them clean her up, have her swaddled up, dressed up so she can be sent to the observatory. Uh, make sure the new guys aren't involved in this. I don't want a Louis or a Ben or a John being Ben, John, and Louis.
They oh, and strictly take her into the car so that she can be prepared for her final resting place.
All right. We can go and deal with Viper.
Are you calling him, or are you gonna just like kind of go to his neighborhood and find him?
It feels more appropriate that we should go find him.
Okay.
Has Viper become more active on the socials by any chance, or is there
He
anybody
has
to
become less active on the socials.
less
Hmm.
active on the socials? All right. So nobody's really been tracking him. I'm guessing.
Hmm. Well, you do have his last like address. Well, Doug had his last address.
Yeah. We will go and hit up that neighborhood.
All right. Um, does anyone have like divine tracking skills or
um,
Let's see.
I,
What do I
I
have?
have I have predator's senses as we've well established at this point. Let's see.
Maybe not divine tracking, but do have somewhat army of wild savage mob of hunters.
I think with a combination of the Wild Seven Mob Hunters and the divine tracking. Well, I guess I should also ask, is this meant to be like a cordial meeting, or are you coming in guns a-blazing?
So Bodhi was planning on catching him off guard, and pretty much just kind of jacking him up and being like, "I'm tired of your um, bullshit."
Then the hunters will not make their presence known, but will just kind of like point you in the right direction to the point where Bodhi can engage her predator senses and see that he is hanging out like walking towards the docks currently.
This fucker in the docks.
Well, that is kind of his thing.
That's how he got into this. All right. So you got the thing to put on him. That okay. You want to start off with that, or do we want to try to talk to him first? Because
I'll allow. It's funny. I remember us doing this 6 months ago. Uh, we'll go your approach, seeing as this is your unfinished business, it seems.
It does seem. All right. So yeah, we'll come up once we have Viper's location. Once we have kind of a pinpoint,
Yep.
Bodhi will hop out and approach.
Bodhi, it's such a drain to see you again.
Well, sounds like you've been training a lot of people recently.
You say drain, I say help.
Help. How does taking a Fodi's family's motivation to do anything? How does that help?
This is 2024. Everyone's so like separate. I'm keeping them together inside in the warmth.
Yeah, but it didn't work. Instead of doing a family event that they've done for years, they've all been off doing different things. Just because they're in the house doesn't mean they're interacting with each other.
Family event?
Oh, you didn't know the family. You just assumed that what you're doing was a good thing.
That sounds more appropriate, yes.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, no, I really don't care anymore. You need to knock it the fuck off.
Brody, I could say yes. I really could. But I think we both know I'd be lying at this point. Besides, I finally met my Scion mom, and she would be very upset
Oh, who's your
if I
mom?
stopped.
So who is your mom?
Oh, I don't think you would know her. You don't know much about Romanian gods.
Question. In my journeys these the last 6 months, have I run into like, because I've been in like Europe for like a little bit for a while for undisclosed reasons.
Hmm.
Um, have I run into some Romanian gods or even heard about them?
The Romanian pantheon is particularly small. However, there has been rumblings that there is a god that was once thought to be dead, who is slowly regaining her power. Apparently, she had seven avatars that were spread around the world, and they are regaining their powers and coming back to her.
Okay. So what's the name?
I think it was Drake or Dracula, something or the other.
All right. You have the present. Oh, Dracula.
Apparently, a Romanian god named Dracula, or at least that's the name she gives people, has been regaining strength as her avatars have been going around the world, doing things.
Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. When did you find this out? How did you find this out?
She came to visit me
When?
a couple weeks ago. She had these lovely red eyes.
Did she come personally, or did she send an avatar?
Probably sent an avatar. I think if a guy came, like it'd be a bigger deal.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You know, funny that you say that, cause and story guide, cause I, the player, have forgotten. How long ago did we off Dracula in Scion Tower?
6 months. And then you do the death, which is about 8 months. So about 14 months.
Yeah. You remember about a little over a year ago when we took out Scion Tower, right? You remember that?
I
Like,
remember that, yeah.
yeah. Do you remember who we were going after? Did you hear about that?
I don't think I heard about that. I know there was something with somebody who was like maybe embezzling some money or something. That really wasn't in the end like you all are.
Yeah. So it turns out, for months, your parent had an avatar in the city. Didn't come and tell you.
Was it my mom? My mom only recently came to see me.
Who do you think we took out on the island?
Once again, I can't pay attention to who you all,
Um,
but I do know that I have a job now to do. And
I am Nolan's just going to come if he can
yep,
right behind him and link that moon on him.
sneakily,
Yeah.
give me subterfuge decks or like a culture decks if you're like taking advantage of like the ebb and flows of conversation.
You know what? I'll do culture Dex.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I am going to attempt to aid this with a presence and persuasion to make sure that his attention is on me.
Sounds good.
Okay. Charming specialty work here.
Nah, this isn't charming. Y'all are not.
Oh.
But Bodhi is being deceptively charming so that she can keep his attention on him.
You know what?
On her.
Sure. We like
Okay.
it.
Okay.
That would be
Oh.
5, 4 on the divine
Divinity
dice.
dice.
Divinity dice, yeah.
What was that?
When divinity dice explode, are they also divinity dice?
Yes.
Okay. So that is 2, 4, 6 successes, 4 divinity dice.
Um, so he has no clue that you like hook it on. He is super engaged in this conversation, almost like he's trying to convince you that you should become a Romanian scion. Like that we're so great. We have like potlucks. Like really, this is where you need to be.
Out of nowhere, Nolan just comes out, you know,
How'd you get here?
oh, you know, I'm always around, always listening. And so is Nyx. He makes sure that the phone is on for Nyx to hear this.
What? Next? Who the fuck is next?
You're right. You wouldn't know that. See, I know about Romanian pantheons more than you know about other pantheons. So let me give you let me give you a lesson. So while I was uh, I guess I was in France at the time, uh, I heard a story about like a very cocky god that tried to trick another god out of his coins. You want to know what happened?
Sure.
No one knows his name anymore. He's been stricken from history. Nyx is kind of that way, especially when you take advantage of her daughter going missing to go ahead and uh, play God as you are now. You
I
don't know who she is, but you will.
see. I thought we were having a conversation, but this is feeling more like a threat. So I'm gonna go.
You should stay, and he's going to invoke that moon that's been hooked onto him.
Okay. And you see your phone hangs up, as if the other person on the line was like, "I gotcha."
Yep. See, the thing is, I've learned something about death. It comes for a lot of us. Some of us, it comes quickly, some slowly, and some it comes when we least expect it, especially when we're so cocky and think we run the world. But here's the thing, Viper. I see the same thing in you that Doug saw.
Doug. Doug just wanted to be popular. Doug didn't know what he was doing. Doug knew nothing about Scions.
Oh, but that's where you're wrong. He did. He knew which gods to flatter, which gods to love, and which god not to piss off.
And that's why Doug is dead.
Good luck with that. You might be meeting him very soon, or not at all.
Well, thank you for your candor. I'm going to go and continue my mission, and I advise you all to do the same. You don't want me beating you to divinity, because if I do, you may not become divine at all.
Bodhi stabs him.
It's like, I'm done. Rotate.
All right. And we're gonna make this fun. We're gonna spend a legend to invoke a marvel of the um, beast purview
Hmm.
to let's to make this strike venomous, like a snake or we're gonna do this as like a sting of a scorpion because
Okay.
what do you use to take out a snake?
Oh, yeah.
A big snake, something else, but this is just a little garden snake. All right, so that is 4 successes. Plus,
Mm,
there is the enhancement to plus one for one hand enhancement for stabbing for the Skyfall dagger.
yep.
Um, so that would make it. I'm doing math right. 5 successes in total.
Yep. With Fast Six, you cannot buy anything extra, but you are able to buy the damage. And because you are use that legend, you can infect him with that scorpion's venom.
All right.
Something is weird though. While you stab deep, um, he looks down and you can very tell you can tell that he is registering the pain, but his body doesn't seem to be reacting as if it was just stabbed.
Do I, with Fate Cutter, do I see his divine threads?
Yep. Yeah, you would.
How are they looking currently with everything happening?
Honestly, fine.
Hmm. It's gonna cut right on through them.
Would be what type of role would that be? So it would be contested. You would absolutely have to spend the legend, and it would be a contested role against the divine that has connected to him.
That's fine. I will spin a legend. Um, yeah, let's go with that. And I'm rolling what again?
That's your like legendary title, right?
Yes.
Let's do occult plus the. You are demigod plus three. So occult plus three.
Alt plus three. Okay. I'm just gonna flood the pool.
Oof.
5, 3 of which was on Divinity Dice.
And what purview would you be using this with?
Let me see. What purview does he have left? He sacrificed 2 of them for his stuff. Let me see. Let me actually scroll down. Where is that at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Okay. Passion.
Okay. Um, so as you attempt to cut, there is this like rigidity that is like fighting you, but you refuse to like resist. You refuse to let resist, and you cut through the cords, disconnecting him from his divine parent or whatever, whoever this is. All of a sudden, his eyes flare red. These massive fangs come from his canines, and he's going to shift into. No, he's by the dock. Shift into an anaconda and attempt to escape into the water.
Moon's still hooked onto him, right?
Hmm?
The moon is still hooked onto him, right?
Oh yeah.
Not really worried about him escaping his fate on that one. Just sucks now he's gonna die as Snake and not as his human Nord form. Oh well.
Oh well.
He is also poisoned.
He's also what?
Poisoned.
Ah, sorrows. Sorrows and
Well,
tariffs.
he said he's gonna try to get away to the water.
Key thing. Try.
Yep.
Anacondas tend to be rather large.
Just gonna spend a legend to become manifest. And the werewolf claws don't need to be activated, right?
Now,
Okay, they just work. All right. So, so I have a bit of math to do because we're essentially taking 2 forms at once. And yeah, we're gonna grab him with the claws. Um, kind of like an attempt to grapple, except instead of grappling, you normally grab on the outside.
right, you just kind of like,
Yeah. So it's gonna be. She's gonna be more like put a hand down and then put the claws in, and then grab onto like the spine from the inside.
Okay.
So, what would you like me to just do a
That
straight
let's
brawl
just
combat and or plus
yeah.
combat and might? Okay.
Yeah.
So we have the +2 enhancement
From the world class.
from the Werewolf Claws,
Mm-hmm.
and we have the many armed. So we're going to get +2 enhancement for physical actions that benefit from coordination, leverage, or multitasking. Using multiple hands like this
Yep.
to get that in there. And for good measure, we are uh, going to tap into the calling, or not the calling, the epic strength to do this as a feat of scale.
Okay.
So we get scale on this, which is also additional enhancements, I believe. Or
Yes, it is. Another two.
okay, so that's 6 total enhancements.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that is 7 successes.
Yep. You are able to grab the spine as the anaconda attempts to duck into the water.
All right, um, and it's just going to use that one hand to hold him there. No one has something they'd like to do. Feel free to go ahead.
Oh, well, I've already activated it. But I don't think our sneaky friend is gonna like what he's about to experience.
Oh, I mean, the snaky friend is snaky pinned to the dock still. And,
Yeah, I would let him go if I were you. I don't want you to experience, well, uh, tempting fate a third time, as the kids say. He's also making sure to stay away from any shadows that are near Viper, because he knows
Fair.
what's about to go down.
all right. Um, pinned down, and Viper is still just trying to get away and not trying to come back at her.
Yep, still just trying to like escape.
All right. Well, she's got 3 other arms that she can use to rip him to pieces, and we'll go with that, and
Hmm.
or until the moon amulet kicks in and does its thing.
The moon amulet likely will. So as you're ripping him to pieces, you do feel a chill coming off of the moon amulet.
Mm-hmm.
Will you wait until, or you continue to rip to pieces, or will you like back off?
I'll wait till it does something until you know. It's hard to understand what is actually just chill and what is like going on because
Right.
it's Nyx. Things get cold. The city gets
Sure.
cold.
Okay. Um, it is 9:54, and we want to give this moment. Well, it's 9:55 now, or 11:55 Eastern time. Since we want to give this moment its proper due, we're going to end here as Werewolf Four-Armed Bodhi
Mm-hmm.
is ripping into this anaconda that has a moon-shaped scale on its back, while Nolan is backing away from all shadows and the moon is rising in the night sky. We will come back next week to reveal what happens. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for playing. Let us share who we are, who we played, and what our characters are feeling right now, starting with Bodhi.
Hello, I am Zachary Nowdert, he, him. I have been playing Bodhi Lee, she, her. Um, Bodhi is wanting to make sure this job gets finished. Because she has won too many times, given someone a pass that has come back. So she wants to make sure shit gets done.
Right?
And
Bodhi is going to finish the job herself. There will be no question about whether or not Viper will be returning. Oh, right. And Nolan, if you would tell us who you are, who you're playing, and what Nolan is feeling right now.
Hi, I'm Crow. He, it. I played Nolan, uh, the apparently not God of War. So it's kind of weird that he's neither one of the things he's supposed to be. Um, Currently, what he's feeling cold. He is feeling cold and apparently a husk. We will figure that out later. He's going through a lot internally.
Nolan's dealing with a lot of shit right now.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you for joining us yet again. Hope you have a marvelous week, and we will see you next week. Until then, have a good one.